Loveless is a 2017 film written and directed by Andrey Zvyagintsev, with additional writing by Oleg Nyegin. The film depicts the bitter divorce between its two main characters and the subsequent disappearance of their son, contextualized against the backdrop of conflict between Russia and neighbouring Ukraine, both former parts of the USSR. It isn't until 48 minutes into its running time until Alexei is understood to be missing, but that mystery is only the beginning of what's really going on under the surface. It's another day, another argument for Zhenya and Boris, and a sticking issue seems to be their son Alexei. However, unlike them fighting for Alexei, both seemingly want the other to take him off their hands. Boris has a new partner, the very pregnant Masha, and Zhenya a more mature partner in Anton. Both seek a new start. Alexei isn't wanted and is regarded as a mistake.
Сам колючий весь, чуть не разорвал меня природа. Не хотел вылезать. Сутки его почти рожала, прикинь.
Alexei hears it all. He is destroyed. Alexei's disappearance thrusts forward what is truly going on within this family. Resentment and blame. That Alexei's disappearance is more of a bother than anything else. Flyers are sent out and there are search parties. The police are seemingly quite unhelpful, the family relying more on local volunteers to help find him. This is a disruption in the lives of Zhenya and Boris. They're ready for their new lives to begin, and now they have to deal with this. Boris and Zhenya get under each other's skin as they drive to her mother's, suspecting Alexei could be there. Boris loudly plays the track Sleepwalking, with lyrics such as, "Help me find a way to breathe." This is all about him, his life, his troubles. He just wants this thing to be over with. It's like Alexei isn't even missed at all. This circle of feeling unwanted goes further back, with Zhenya's mother also declaring that Zhenya herself was a mistake. Another unwanted child, raising another unwanted child. Blame is placed on mothers. Zhenya's hairdresser saying her daughter's temperament comes from her husband's side of the family. Zhenya's mother is resentful, hateful, cold, rude, abrasive, and incredibly lonely. A life of lovelessness. Alexei is missing. Zhenya and Boris agree on one thing. They should have aborted him before he was even born. They resent this life they created and are guilty of bringing more lovelessness into the world, of which they blame others. Two sides at war. Russia and Ukraine. Boris and Zhenya. Alexei throws the tape into the tree, and it is there the following winter. Underneath, a stream that divides into two, just like his parents' union. The tape indicates danger, a flimsy barrier telling people to stay out and keep away. But that has been violated, and Alexei ignores this ramshackle warning. No danger comes to him that day, just a warning. Your parents don't want you. This is a neglected child. Boris is concerned about his job. His hardcore Christian boss has a corporate policy. Everyone on staff is expected to be married and have kids. How will it look to society when he and Zhenya are officially divorced? He plans to marry Masha as quickly as he can before anyone gets wind of it. Both sides have high expectations of the other sex. Zhenya's expectations of her soon-to-be ex-husband have not been matched. Masha and her mother talk, with men being described as little kids. The expectations are of a man to be seemingly socially dominant. Likewise, when people come to look at the apartment, Alexei is struck by his mother and told to say hello. Her expectations of her son are unmatched, complaining he cries. She emasculates him, that having feelings or showing emotion is wrong, forgetting that he is simply a 12-year-old boy. Expectations of women are superficial in the film. In this curious scene, a POV shot of a man talking to this woman occurs. He procures her telephone number before she returns to her date. This is an environment where men approach attractive women and get their way, the point of view shot showing the emphasis on her beauty and her sexuality. To men, this is seen as her main value within this setting. the man's value being his status or wealth. This is the superficiality that women have to face. Later, a group of women pose for selfies in the same restaurant, compounding how superficial this all really is. This toxic environment of men with high status and women expected to be attractive and an attainable fantasy has become a huge part of this world. Zhenya has moved on. Around her new boyfriend, she is a completely different person, youthful and affectionate. She wants wine after sex, while her older partner just seemingly wants to rest. She says, "I love you," and later, "Do you love me?" But he never answers it directly. She's yet to see that this new relationship could also fall into the same pitfalls as her last. Is this new man in her life capable of loving her? Or does he simply see her as a young, attractive partner that he craves only on a superficial level? Zhenya talks of a life growing up without love, governed by rules of a cold mother, burdened by discipline.
Я как ни позвоню, всегда скандал. Даже потом не могу понять, почему. Кто начал?
She confesses she didn't want her baby, was scared of abortion and scared of having it.
Потом, когда его принесли, я даже смотреть на него не могла. Прям отвращение какое-то.
She has little care for the boy, commanding him during breakfast, disengaged and more interested in her phone. It isn't until Alexei hasn't been in school for 2 days that she finally realizes he's gone, after a night out with her new boyfriend, returning home with the sun coming up, assuming Alexei handled himself on the previous night and went to school while she slept. Unfortunately, Alexei wasn't in her thoughts at all. Boris had tried to rationalize Alexei's disappearance. He refers to him as the squirt and says that he's in for an ass kicking. The expectations of a strong male father figure has backfired and has created this element of toxic masculinity. He has utter contempt for his own offspring. The expectations on Boris were to be socially dominant, but this normalization of violence and aggression has just increased psychological problems. His stress levels are insanely high. Neglect has led to paranoia. Masha is worried about Boris leaving her. Recall Ukraine and Russia. Masha is lonely, paranoid, asking about Zhenya. There is a circle of unease and neediness. Masha knows that this is a man that has already had one broken marriage. She is concerned about it continuing. Masha eats an apple, the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. She may be concerned about being banished like Adam and Eve, booted from her relationship, left to coldly raise an unwanted child all by herself. Her anxiety is apparent, looking up dream analysis of falling out teeth, which is meant to represent frustration, fear, and self-doubt. Alexei is never seen again, an innocence lost, a needle in a haystack of a society so self-absorbed and loveless. Fall turns to winter. Other boys are found, both alive and dead, but neither of this particular unwanted boy, just someone else's. Zhenya talked of a life growing up without love, governed by rules of a cold mother. Boris refers to her mother as Stalin in a skirt. Many historians conclude that the 1932-33 Ukrainian famine was in fact an act of genocide conducted by, you guessed it, Joseph Stalin. Recall this. Does Alexei represent Ukraine and Zhenya Russia? Mother Russia. Now she declares she wants him. Now he's gone. How can you expect a healthy relationship without love? Her relationship with her mother, her relationship with Alexei, Russia, and Ukraine. Russian news shows the Donbass region under Ukraine artillery fire. Many dead, many wounded, many refugees. Russian news tells their side of the story. The Ukraine army, disorganized, deceived, demolished. The Ukrainian government run by foreigners with interest in the West more than Ukraine. Russia has its point of view, passing blame of the conflict not on the Russian government, but that of Ukraine and its then President Poroshenko.
Внукам, правнукам, матерям ихним. Пусть они вот так поживут полгода в страхе. За что мы гибнем? Мы ж
Loveless was sold with the tagline, "A missing child, a marriage destroyed, a country in crisis." Russian news tells the story of Ukraine being the country in crisis, but perhaps it was not the one that the film intended. Zhenya runs to avoid the news. In her Bosco tracksuit, Russia on her chest, she runs in place, like a hamster on a wheel, running but not moving, not progressing, a mirage of movement but staying in place, stuck, like a country that won't let go, holding on to the past, wanting a new life, but stuck on a societal treadmill. She seems solemn, fed up. She can only run so much. Is this look at the camera a plea to stop this conflict? Or is it one of defiance, that Russia will endure this state of torture before ever truly letting go? Alexei's tape remains in the winter, blowing in the wind, a reminder of something gone, or that never was. Kids play in the snow outside, but one kid will never be seen again. The conflict that could not end amicably. New beginnings but no resolutions. Just bitterness and blame. Until that is, we stop running in place. Thank you.